seen anyone committing a crime? I'm not talking about a crime like putting chocolate syrup on French fries or wearing one of those mankinis. I mean a real crime, like stealing a purse or breaking into a car. You could reach for your concealed smartphone and call 911, but you know the crook will be long gone by the time the police arrive. That's when good citizens think to themselves, sure glad that's not my car. And really good citizens think, I should chase down that criminal and make a citizen's arrest. That's an arrest made by a person who is not a sworn law enforcement official. The idea of the citizen's arrest dates back to medieval times in England when there were only a few sheriffs and a lot of people robbing from the rich and giving to the poor. Citizens were allowed to arrest lawbreakers and hold them until the sheriff arrived. Like tea, fish and chips, and English muffins, this British custom eventually came to America. If you're thinking about making a citizen's arrest, the first thing you should ask yourself is, am I nuts? That's a good question to ask, since many lawbreakers are armed and dangerous while most citizens aren't. If you actually do apprehend the lawbreaker, you have to keep them subdued and somehow get them to the police station. Try explaining that to a cab driver. The act of making a citizen's arrest opens you up to all kinds of potential civil rights violations, like false imprisonment, assault and battery if you use force, or sexual harassment if you do a pat-down. Which brings us to the next question to ask yourself before making a citizen's arrest. Seriously, am I nuts? But a more important question to ask is, what state am I in? That's because the power to make a citizen's arrest is controlled by state law, and every state has different laws governing when a private citizen can make an arrest. In most states in the US, you can only make a citizen's arrest on a person who has committed a felony that you actually witnessed. You're allowed to use a reasonable amount of force to apprehend and hold them. In California, you can break into a suspect's home to arrest them. In Kentucky, under certain circumstances, you can kill a criminal if they run away. Note to self, don't do any suspicious jogging next time I'm in Kentucky. In Massachusetts, it pays to be sure you actually witnessed a felony before making the arrest. If the police arrive and no charges are filed, the person can sue you. Okay, you've watched every episode of Law & Order, you've checked the citizen's arrest laws in your state, and you've just witnessed a felony. How do you make a proper citizen's arrest? Let me demonstrate the procedure. Think of it as CSI Rocket Boom. Let's say you witness a bad guy breaking into a car. Once you're sure you witnessed a crime, the first thing to do is tell the criminal you're making a citizen's arrest. Stop right there! I'm making a citizen's arrest! This is exciting. The next step is to explain to them why you're making a citizen's arrest. You broke into that car! No, I can do better than that. You broke into that car, which is a felony in this state. Yeah, that's better. Now it's time to apprehend the suspect and hold them. The key is to use as little force as possible and avoid tying them up. This might be a good time to get other people to help you. Or you can try to outwit the suspect. You, up against the wall. I have a black belt in Pilates. Once the suspect is in your custody, call the local police. Yes, this is Kagan, and I've just made a citizen's arrest of someone trying to steal a car. No, I'm not nuts. When the police arrive, turn the suspect over to them immediately. You'll be asked to give a statement. If you had to use force, make sure to tell the police that too. Something like, I did not touch the suspect. I held him against the wall, threatening to use Pilates. No, I'm not nuts. Remember, be helpful, be thorough, be respectful, and don't make any comments about donuts. Also, be prepared to possibly appear in court as a witness. And that's one way to make a citizen's arrest. Kids, don't try this at home. There was never any real crime and I was never in any real danger. Good thing too, because I don't really know Pilates. On the other hand, a real crime scene can be dangerous and even deadly. While performing a citizen's arrest may make you feel like an angel, you could end up dead. And we don't want that. The police don't want that. Even the actual Guardian Angels, the famous volunteer organization of unarmed citizen crime patrollers who are well trained in what they do when witnessing a crime, no longer make citizen's arrests, and they don't want that. Although they still get to wear those cool berets. So if you see a crime being committed, don't take justice into your own hands. Take a smartphone instead and call 911. You'd still be considered a good citizen, and people won't think you're nuts. I'm Kagan, and this is Rocket Boom.